Some final notes before kickoff. Redskin linebacker Andre Collins is out for the game. He'll be replaced by Monty Coleman. The 15-year veteran normally plays in the nickel, but there could be some drop-off in their run defense when he's in there. Also for the Redskins, they are without both of their H-backs. Terry Orr is also inactive. So we've been telling you about the Redskins' new two-back attack. Well, without any H-backs, they plan to run that almost exclusively throughout this game. The flip side for Dallas. Coaches have very quietly been priming Charles Haley. You're going to have a big game, going up against a relatively inexperienced left tackle. Plus, Washington is without Terry Orr, who normally would provide the extra protection. That's it from RFK, where they are most certainly ready for some football. Mike?
Last January, the Dallas Cowboys completed a 4-year ascent to the pinnacle of professional football. The kill shot was emphatic. A 52-17 victory over the Buffalo Bills to win Super Bowl 27. Tonight in Washington, the defense of the Super Bowl title begins. But it's doubly hard to do it again, and the Cowboys must now confront the demons that bedevil a championship team hoping to retain its title. But don't pity Dallas coach Jimmy Johnson.
We have an excellent football team. We have a lot of talent on this team, and our guys understand how to win, and they have a tremendous amount of confidence.
And no player is more ready to prove Johnson right than quarterback Troy Aikman.
We're ready to go. I feel good about this football team. I think everybody's really looking forward to getting this season underway and putting all the speculation and talk behind us and seeing what kind of team we're going to have.
The world champion Dallas Cowboys face the Washington Redskins on the season premiere of the 24th year of ABC's Monday Night Football. Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium in the nation's capital on a warm Labor Day evening, and this stadium will be rocking tonight as the Redskins and Cowboys kick off their 1993 season. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf, and welcome to our first regular season telecast of our 24th year of bringing you Monday Night Football. It doesn't get any better than this. RFK Stadium prime time. The last two Super Bowl winners, the Redskins, of course, going 13-3 in 1991. They won Super Bowl 26. They fell to 9-7 a year ago, and now Richie Pettibone is the new coach who will try to get them back into that Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys, they've been on an unbelievable 4-year trip under head coach Jimmy Johnson, owner Jerry Jones. They went from 1-15 in 1989. They won it all big time against Buffalo, 52-17 in last January in the Super Bowl, and they are ready to repeat. But Al Michaels, again, welcome to our 24th year, your 8th year, my 23rd, Dan's 7th. Something happens when you win the Super Bowl. You get the fame, you get the glory, you get the wealth, but you also get the problems.
And you get a real big problem if you're Dallas. You get no Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith is unsigned, and all he has done the last 2 years is lead the National Football League in rushing. So instead of Emmitt Smith tonight, Washington takes a look at Derek Lassick, a 4th-round rookie draft choice from the University of Alabama. But they still have Aikman, and they still have the great receivers in Harper, Irvin, and Novacek. Jimmy Johnson told us last night, he said, we are a better team than the Redskins, even without Emmitt Smith. And one reason he can feel that way is that despite not sending one defensive player to the Pro Bowl last year, their overall defense was #1 in the National Football League. And tonight they'll face a Redskin offense that, frankly, Dan, was very up and down last season, led by Mark Rippon, but a Redskin offense that plays at RFK Stadium, one of the great scenes in the National Football League.
It certainly is, Alan. I can tell you from a former player's perspective, a tough place to play because you can be intimidated by this crowd, and it's hard to win here. It's just that nobody told the Dallas Cowboys. Somehow they've won 3 of their last 5 meetings here at RFK. A couple of key matchups tonight. When Washington has the ball, a lot of pressure on their left tackle, Mo Elowinibi. He's replacing the great Jim Lachey, and he has to go against Charles Haley. They're going to have to help him out early because he'll certainly be tight at the start of this ball game. Now, when Dallas has the football, look to the wideouts. Look to Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin. They enjoy a tremendous height advantage against the 2 5'8" cornerbacks of the Redskins, A.J. Johnson and Darrell Green. They're going to have to win the ball game tonight by passing the ball, talking about the Cowboys. Finally, I'd just like to say this. We talked about this being our 24th year to open up here at RFK. It's just absolutely perfect. We're glad you're with us, and let's do it.
And we'll do it before the normal capacity crowd. Every seat sold for the entire season, and the Dallas Cowboys have sold every seat for each of their home games in 1993. So the Cowboys, who won the Super Bowl last year, against the Redskins, who won the Super Bowl following the 1991 season, and Chip Lohmiller, one of the best in the league, to kick off as Dallas will take over on offense for the first series, minus Emmitt Smith, as we take a look at Kevin Williams, number 85. He's a rookie from Miami, and Brock Marion, a rookie from Nevada Reno. Marion is there to block. Jimmy Johnson has said, I want the ball in Williams' hands. It bounces at the 11. Williams takes it from the 6 and brings it back up to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Pat Eilers, and here come the Cowboys. Troy Aikman, he was the #1 pick in the draft in 1989 out of UCLA, now in his 5th year, Super Bowl MVP. He's gotten better every year. Johnston is the blocking back. Lassick is the running back. Harper and Irvin are the wideouts. Novacek, the tight end. 2 and 8, Newton, Stepnoski, Gogan, and Williams, the interior 5. John Giesick, who would normally start at one guard spot, not here. Aikman fumbles the first snap, and about as inauspicious a beginning for a defending Super Bowl champion as you'll ever see, as the initial snap is fumbled by the quarterback.
Wasn't Washington's first play last year as defending Super Bowl champs a sack by the Cowboys?
By Vincent Smith, who's now with Chicago.
Must be about the Super Bowl start that is less than glamorous.
At least he recovers it. 2nd down and 12. They send Johnston and Martin. And here is Derek Lassick's first carry, and it's a nice one as he takes it out to the 33-yard line. He is hit there by Brad Edwards, the safety. Here's the Redskin defense. They play a base 4-3 with Mann, Williams, Johnson, and Shane Collins up front. Andre Collins is hurt, so it is Carl Banks, the former Giant, Gouveia in the middle, and Monty Coleman spelling Collins. Johnson and Green are at the corners, and Copeland and Edwards are the safeties. 3rd down and 4 from the 33-yard line. Aikman's first pass of the season is on the money at the 39-yard line. It is caught by Michael Irvin, and that's enough for a first down. Irvin well covered, but Aikman drills it in there. And Irvin, who's seemingly every catch results in a first down, picks one up here.
Well, Dan touched on just how big these outside receivers are. 5'8" Darrell Green. He was in a good position to play the ball, but the body was shielded out by Michael Irvin.
And watch him all night long, guys, on how he shields himself. He'll use his arms. He'll use anything. Michael Irvin, one of the best in the league at separating himself from a quarterback.
Lassick again, and he's hit by Banks and squirts forward, but they rule it down at the 41. We talked about Irvin. Irvin last year caught 78 passes to lead the team. 71 of those receptions good for a first down.
And he had a 17.9 average, and that's just almost unbelievable. But he is an incredible clutch player. And getting back to Derek Lassick, who, of course, replaced Emmitt Smith, Jimmy Johnson told us, well, look, he is about a 170-pounder and a 190-pound body, but he'll give us everything he's got. He won't make the break the tackle that Emmitt Smith will, but he'll give you it all.
2nd and 7 at the 41. Here's a draw. Here's Lassick. And he fights his way for about 1.5 yards. And he's pushed back by Mann, among others. And you caught a glimpse there of the type of runner that he is. He'll do some spinning. He's used to playing in front of big crowds as Lassick. I mean, after all, Alabama was the national champion last year.
Well, he's the type of a player that looks for a hole rather than trying to create a hole. Emmitt Smith was more of, to use a football term, a north and south runner. He always was going straight up the field. Not so with Derek Lassick. He will take a chance to go laterally to try to make a big play.
3rd and 5. Lassick out. Kevin Williams comes in the slot. Johnston stays in the block. Aikman gets good protection, and then the pass is incomplete as it is broken up by Darrell Green. Harper was open and was open for a while over the middle, but the pass was late, and Green gets in there to break it up and force a punt.
Aikman looking downfield. He did not see Harper come open. He was open for the first down completion. By the time Aikman comes back to him, Green has made the coverage. Look across the middle. He gets shielded out. Green gets taken out by his own man, Gouveia. By the time Aikman comes back to him, he's covered. Good play by Green.
You think Darrell Green still has a burst to the football? Harper was 2 yards in front of him, and he ate it up and still got a hand on the ball.
Brian Mitchell to accept the kick from the new Dallas punter, John Jett, after Mike Saxton had done the punting for years. Mitchell fields at the 7, and the normally dangerous Mitchell is smothered back at the 5-yard line by rookie Darren Smith. So the Skins get it, but deep in their own territory, 3.5 minutes into our opener. Here are the Redskins offensively for the first time in 1993. They begin with a 2-back set, Biner and Mitchell, behind Mark Rippon. And a flag as the Cowboys appeared to jump. Mitchell takes it out to the 9. Leon Lett came across the line. Jerry Markbright will tell us if he was induced or whether it's 5 yards against Dallas.
It was a serious head bob by Mark Rippon.
Offside, number 78, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It'll be 1st and 5. Let's take a look at this Redskin offense, and they're going to use more 2-back this year than ever. Mark Rippon, great year in 91, off year in 92, had a fine preseason. And we'll take a look at the rest after the play. 1st down and 5 from the 11. 11:15 to play. First quarter, no score. And on a draw, Brian Mitchell fights his way close to a first down. Remember, he needed only 5. Jones makes the tackle. Biner and Mitchell in the 2-back set. Now Ricky Sanders becomes their ace receiver with McGee on the other side. Monk on the bench to start. Middleton is the tight end. Elowanibi in place of the injured Lachey, who's gone for the season, with Brown, McKenzie, Schlereth, and Simmons, the interior 5. And as Dan mentioned, the interesting matchup on that left side, Elowanibi against Haley and company. On 1st and 10, a little swing pass to Brian Mitchell, and he goes nowhere. Ken Norton, coming off a terrific Super Bowl, makes the tackle just back of the line of scrimmage. Defensively now, Dallas #1 last year. They rotate along the front with Colbert, Jones, Lett, and Haley the starters. Then the 3 linebackers are Dixon, Edwards, Robert Jones in his 2nd year in the middle, and Ken Norton really coming into his own. Kevin Smith and Brown on the corners. Washington and Everett are the safeties. Art Monk is in the game. He's their number 3 receiver. He lines up stacked to the left on 2nd and 12. It's a dump off to Mitchell, and he takes it to the 20-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 7. Robert Jones makes the hit. Richie Pettibone has never been a head coach until now, and he finally gets the job at age 55.
And the one he really wanted, he had been considered by New Orleans and the Bears, and I think he just feels he was so fortunate he stayed around this long. The job that he really wanted, the Washington Redskins, when Joe Gibbs stepped down last winter.
9:30 to go. Opening quarter, 3rd and 7. Rippon doing some adjusting. The play clock is down to 3. They need 7. And Rippon throws. It's Monk, but he cannot make the catch, standing on the boundary, and it's 4th down. Covering on the play was Kenneth Gant. And so the Redskins will be forced to kick, and we'll take another look at Kelly Goodburn. They went out and spent a 3rd-round draft choice on Ed Bunn, and when you spend a 3rd-rounder on a punter, you want him to win the job, but he didn't. All it did was inspire Goodburn, and he'll be punting in the direction of Kevin Williams. Wobbly kick, very poor kick, and it's out of bounds in Washington territory, and they will mark it out at the 44. It's a 24-yard kick.
Ed Bunn's chuckling now.
Yes. Labor Day night in the nation's capital, the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes providing the Phoenix Always a great scene. RFK Stadium opening night. Dallas and Washington, one of the league's great rivalries. No score, 9:10 to play, first quarter. Dallas at the Washington 44. Derek Lessick swings to the outside and picks up 3 out of bounds at the 41-yard line, led by Nate Newton's block.
Never has 303 pounds moved so quickly. Big Nate Newton pulling out from his left guard position.
A Pro Bowl football player and a guy who periodically throughout his career has battled a weight problem and seemingly has convinced everybody that, hey, I'm just big and I can play big. And as long as you play like you play, Nate, you can weigh whatever you want to weigh. A good, solid football player.
He and Stepnoski each going to the Pro Bowl last year. 2nd and 7. Aikman on the deep drop with good protection finds the wide open Irvin, and he's tackled by A.J. Johnson about 1.5 yards shy of the first down at the 37-yard line.
When the Dallas Cowboys were taken over by Jimmy Johnson, their offensive line was really the weakest part of their ball club. And now they've evolved into having Newton and Stepnoski as Pro Bowlers. Eric Williams, number 79, the right tackle, will probably be a Pro Bowler this year. He has really blossomed. And Tuanay and Giesek and Gogan give them one of the strongest offensive lines in the entire league. It's been a reversal that has matched the rest of the team.
3rd and a short 2, and Aikman will seek it through the air, and his pass is dropped by Irvin, who gets double covered by A.J. Johnson and Brad Edwards, and popped as the ball got there.
The preseason's over, Frank.
Oh boy, Aikman trying to slip it into the slot between A.J. Johnson and the safety who was coming over. And you just wonder, on a 3rd down and 1.5 yards or 2, would not Emmitt Smith have been given that call? You can almost assure that. He averages 4.9 against the Redskins, but they felt they had to go up on top. They went to their other superstar, Michael Irvin. Good coverage by the Redskins.
And Frank, the other part of your question is, if Emmitt Smith is in the game, is Brad Edwards, who came from inside to make that hit, closer to the line of scrimmage?
It's 4th down and 2. And Aikman came up to the line of scrimmage and took a timeout because the play clock was down to 2. 7:56 remaining in the first quarter. No score. His first big strategic decision of the season. 4th down, a short 2. The ball is at the Washington 36. So you can either punt, opt for a 53-yard field goal attempt, or go for it. And he's going to go for it. Derek Lassick, the sole back. That's Harper in motion, and Aikman to throw, and he dumps it off to Lassick. Lassick able to avoid one tackle, and then with a second effort, he gets the ball to the 35-yard line, but short of the first down. Alvoid Mays missed him, and then he almost was able to pick up the first, but misses by less than 1 yard.
Yeah, but Alvoid Mays made Derek Lassick do what he didn't want to do, break it back to the inside. He had to move to the inside. The pursuit was so quick. It closed in on the young rookie from Alabama. And now here's Alvoid missing right there, but that means that Lassick had to bring it back inside. By the time he recovered, Darrell Green, with his great speed, was there.
He almost got it. And quite a statement by Johnson about what he thinks about his rookie going to him on 4th down.
From the 35-yard line, here's Rippon. And Rippon's going to go deep. Rippon looking for McGee, but overthrows him by about 7 yards, and he was sandwiched anyway. And the pressure that time put on by Tony Tolbert.
That was a good overthrow, too. He wanted to go McGee all the way. He wanted him deep. He didn't have time, had to move around. He just threw that away.
McGee came over from Cincinnati. You can forget about the posse. Gary Clark is now in Phoenix. Art Monk is a sub. And Richie Pettibone has made Ricky Sanders, who was number 3 in the old posse, their number 1 guy. Number 83 really has to step it up this year. That's Mitchell in motion, leaving nobody in the backfield, and the pass is caught up at the 36-yard line by Ernest Biner for a minimal gain. It'll be 3rd and 9. Dixon Edwards, the linebacker, making the tackle.
Boy, and you can really see the speed of the Dallas Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson likes speed. He likes more speed and more speed than that. He doesn't care so much about the size. The Cowboys, with only one linebacker over 240 pounds, he wants speed. And you saw it there on a kind of a screen out there in the flat. and the Cowboys reacted to it so quickly.
Watch Haley on this one. Eloanibi kind of tackled him last time. I think there's some hostility here.
3rd and 9. They've got the safety, the special teamer Bill Bates, playing in a linebacking spot and dropping back into coverage. And Rippon's going deep, and this one is overthrown. And again, the coverage was very good on Tim McGee. Larry Brown was with him step for step, and there's a flag down. And a conference at the 37-yard line near the line of scrimmage. The penalty is against Washington. Dallas can decline it. 6:52 to go in a scoreless first quarter. And the Redskins will be forced to punt for the second time. Here's Mark Bright.
Pass interference, number 81, offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Art Monk.
And if you were watching the pass protection last time, you saw where the Redskins elected to keep one of their receivers in. A tight end stayed in to double team Charles Haley. So even though Haley doesn't get to the quarterback, he has an impact on the passing game by keeping an eligible receiver in the backfield.
Here's Goodburn to punt to the rookie Kevin Williams. Line of scrimmage is the 37, and this is a far better kick. His last one was 25 yards. This one is fumbled at the 17-yard line. And the Washington Redskins with Pat Eilers, who's become a special teams maven and maniac in preseason, coming up with it.
But Johnny Thomas,
yes,
Johnny Thomas, number 41, scared the ball out. He's the guy that ought to get credit. When Johnny Thomas goes by Williams, he distracts him. Watch him come from the right part of your screen. From the left, actually, moving by the right. And that is what actually distracts Williams to the point. And the official said he didn't get close enough. You're supposed to stay a yard away. Does he? Boy, that's a heck of a fake by Johnny Thomas. Big time play.
And Washington to try to capitalize from the 16. The catch is made by the tight end Ron Middleton. He's out of bounds at the 15. It's a gain of 2.
Now, Kevin Williams has probably not seen this. He is a very confident University of Miami player. He's seen most everything in football, but he got so distracted there, he lost his concentration and gave up the football.
Well, how do you blame a guy for getting distracted? It looked like, I'm sure he thought he was going to be steamrolled. From up here, I thought Thomas was going to run right over the top of it.
Yeah, but after he does it a few times, he knows that man is not going to hit him. Or he better hope he doesn't hit him.
Yeah. Again, a reminder, the preseason is over.
2nd and 8. There's the fake to Mitchell. And the pass is tipped and nearly picked off at the 2. James Washington should have had the interception as the ball was deflected. 3rd down and 8 upcoming. Dixon Edwards, I think, is the man who got his hand on it.
That's almost the equivalent of a receiver dropping a touchdown pass. A chance to intercept the ball close to your own goal line. There you see it tipped by Tolbert. And that's just right in the hands of James Washington. That's a drop that ends up costing your team points when they're in the red zone like this.
3rd down and 8 at the 15-yard line. That's Monk in motion to the same side as Sanders. Rippon stepping up. Rippon throwing for Sanders, and he can't make the catch at the 8-yard line. He's draped by Gant. And Washington can't capitalize, at least to the extent of a touchdown. Instead, they'll bring in Lohmiller for what for him should be an easy field goal.
Rippon was looking deep for Tim McGee in the end zone, and this is the receiver he wanted. Top of your screen, that's McGee. He'll break it off working against Larry Brown. He's saying wide open. Rippon, meanwhile, has given up on him. He fires it in too hot for it to be handled by Sanders, and now comes the field goal.
31-yard attempt for Lohmiller, and this one is close and no good for a guy who's almost automatic.
And everybody in a blue shirt in this stadium is really happy. None more so than James Washington, who dropped that interception.
Now it's time for our regular feature on what's new in the world of sports science and technology.
A look behind the scenes as sports and science converge, brought to you by AT&T. When All-Pro Cowboy tight end Jay Novacek takes the field tonight, he'll be wearing new prototype leg pads. The Air Armor system adds protection to the lateral thigh and the upper shin, while leaving room for the mandatory soft knee pad. The laminate composite shell, air bladder padding system, and support mechanisms all work in combination to permit free, natural, and dynamic movement of the legs while providing more protection than previously possible.
Which 800 service keeps sales clicking? Well, if
from last in the league, Only Seattle and Cleveland worse. As you can see, the league average is 48.5%. And again, Washington not only bogs down and doesn't score a touchdown, they don't get the field goal either. Dallas gets it at the 20. 6:06 to go. First quarter, no score. And here is Lassick swinging to the outside, picking up 3. Dallas minus Emmitt Smith. I talked to Smith on the phone about 10 minutes before the game tonight. He's in Pensacola, Florida. He said, I feel weird, definitely weird. I shouldn't be sitting here. I'm behind the team 100%. I think they're going to stalemate for a while. He does have some bitterness. He said, I promised Jerry Jones I would not negotiate in the newspapers, and I haven't, and Jerry has. And that is a well-taken point by Emmitt Smith. 2nd down and 6 at the 24-yard line.
Movement on the right side.
Yeah, you can see Williams rock back. Well, I know what Emmitt Smith saw in that last play. He saw his fullback, Darrell Johnston, put down 2 Washington Redskins with a lead block.
Number 79, offense. Prior to the snap, simulating the start of a play. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
One thing people should understand about Emmitt Smith, and we've got to know him, he is a very articulate and very bright fella, and not the kind of guy who's going to be molded and twisted by an agent or outside sources. He explained his position very articulately tonight, and there it is. Over the past 2 years, he has been almost the entire rushing offense of the Dallas Cowboys. Here is Darrell Johnston, who gets about 2 carries a game, and that's why he doesn't go very far. 3rd down.
Well, I'm not sure Emmitt Smith would have gone very far with that lack of blocking on that particular play. Of course, one of the biggest problems with this play is that Darrell Johnston isn't leading the play blocking. He is a devastating blocker, and he knows what his role is, and it's to take care of Emmitt Smith. And tonight, it's to take care of Derek Lassick and Derek Gaynor, the 2 guys that will carry the ball the majority of time for Dallas.
The entire year last year, just 61 yards rushing for Johnston.
3rd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Boy, man came flying across the line.
Oh, no.
No guy. Wide open is big play man, Alvin Harper. Touchdown. 80 yards.
A.J. Johnson, for some reason, just let Michael Irvin run my bike.
Pretty good coverage, huh?
Whether he was this is down at Dallas, Texas Stadium, where there's a tremendous crowd of 10,000 plus invited there by Jerry Jones to look on.
Well, A.J. Johnson turns him over to Brad Edwards. Take a look on the outside of your screen, or Danny Copeland, number 26, the safety. He thinks that he's got him. Copeland's playing the receiver in the middle, and that is just a miscommunication between Johnson and Copeland. And it's impossible to sit here and speculate which is right and which is wrong. One of them was wrong, though.
I would say so.
Yep.
Copeland got locked up, his eyes on Jay Novacek, a great receiving tight end.
Lynn Elliott, meanwhile, who did not have a good preseason, blows the extra point. So 80 goes 80. Harper gives him 6, 4:28 to go in the quarter. Dallas has the lead.
Just like that, letting Alvin Harper go totally free. A.J. Johnson and Danny Copeland on different pages.
Lynn Elliott sends a line drive through the hands of Ryan Mitchell, who downs it in the end zone. And the Skins will take over at the 20-yard line.
Well, and now the worst thing that could happen has happened to the Redskins. Here they are playing a wounded football team without their superstar running back, and now they're trailing. And trailing at home, and the pressure will begin to mount. The longer they stay behind, the better Dallas does. The imposed pressure of being the favorite will begin to mount on the Redskins.
And they have Reggie Brooks, the Notre Dame rookie, in the backfield, and they love him. Here's his first NFL carry. There's a lot to love there. Through the middle he goes for 7. Ken Norton makes the hit.
One thing we haven't touched on, Terry Orr is not suited up tonight. He is the regular starting H-back, and that has kind of forced the offensive unit under Rod Dowauer, their offensive coordinator, to use a lot of double setback. That's the first time we've seen the single setback with Reggie Brooks, the rookie from Notre Dame. And they are using Ron Middleton, the tight end, as they did a moment ago, as the H-back.
Second down and 3, and Reggie Brooks, I believe, has picked up his first NFL first down. All he had to do is put the nose of the ball on the 30-yard line stripe, which he has. Maryland is in there to make the tackle. Reggie Brooks, and the shaken up Cowboy is Dixon Edwards, the starting left side linebacker.
And he took on, I think, Ron Middleton, who came across in motion, and he put a shot on Dixon Edwards that was big time.
He's the one we were saying is in there as the H-back. He has played that position, worked at it, but he is the regular tight end. But Terry Orr is not available tonight, and Edwards is limping off, the second-round draft pick who replaced NC Smith at that left cornerback.
3:16 remaining. We're in the first quarter. Dallas leads 6-0 on an 80-yard touchdown reception by Alvin Harper. Rippon, who is 4 for 9 for 6 yards through the air. On 1st and 10. Changing the play. Play clock is down to 4. His 10th pass is caught by Sanders, and Ricky Sanders is thrust out of bounds at the 34-yard line by Kevin Smith after a pickup of 4.
Smith is a good example of how well this Cowboys secondary tackles. I'm not sure there's a team in the National Football League that does as much live tackling during practice, both in season and preseason, as do the Dallas Cowboys, and it's really reflected by how aggressive their secondary and linebackers are and how well they execute the open field tackle. They're very, very good at it.
Edwards is back in the game. Cowboys in their base 4-3. Here's Reggie Brooks. And Reggie takes it out to the 40-yard line, and that's very close to a first down. Robert Jones and Tony Tolbert in on the hit.
That's good, strong running by Reggie Brooks. He gained over 1,300 yards as a senior at Notre Dame. A good athlete, we know that, because he started out as a defensive back, then he went to tailback, back to defensive back. Finally, as a senior, had great numbers, averaged over 8 yards a carry. And Richie Pettibone is very open about it, as Richie is about everything. He says he can become a great one.
And it's still a formidable group of offensive linemen that he's running behind. Brown, McKenzie, Schlereth, and Simmons, along with Oluwanibi. This is still a quality group in Washington.
Brooks has picked up back-to-back first downs. I know why you remember him, Frank. All he did against USC last year was gain 227 yards.
I was going to bring it up. Hey, that's impressive against Bakersfield High School.
There's Jim Hannafin, the Redskins offensive line coach. Think he's into the game? His boys are out there.
Yeah. Dan's old coach. First down at the 40-yard line. Brooks again, and this time he's wrapped up back in the line of scrimmage. He can't get on track. Russell Maryland slowed him down, and Tony Tolbert finished him off. 1:45 to go, opening quarter. 6-0 Cowboys.
Dan was talking about Redskins offensive line, the new hog, so to speak, still being very formidable, but they're going against the #1 defense against the rush last year. Haley and Lett and Jones and Tolbert. Casillas comes in, and Maryland, they rotate that defensive lineman all the time, keeping their fresh. They're all good size, but more than anything, they are quick.
2nd and 10 in the 40. Brooks on a draw. Nothing happening there, except he does turn a loss into a gain. Nothing happening, and he was the only guy who said, "You want to bet?"
Well, he spun right out of Tony Tolbert. The line of scrimmage. Tony came down, had him. Brooks spun away from him. Good, strong running.
And a big hand from the RFK partisans. They really appreciate it.
There's Oluwanibi and Haley gets underneath him, gets the leverage. Haley gets the first hit, but look, there's Tolbert, 92, and he wraps up Brooks, and Brooks takes Tolbert, who, keep in mind, is 6'6", 265. He took him at least 5 yards.
3rd and 5 at the 45-yard line.
Look out.
Pressure on Rippon, gets it off to Biner. Biner slips the tackle, takes it to the 49, and that's a first down.
Well, good read by Rippon.
And a couple second efforts by the Redskins, Frank.
Rippon looking downfield, looking for Sanders over on the left side. He knew exactly where Biner was going to be. Biner, a good receiver out of the backfield, and expected to carry a big load tonight with Terry Orr not available at H-back. He'll play there also. Look, Rippon reads to the left, comes back to Biner, and Biner breaks the tackle and picks up the first down.
And that is the end of the first quarter in Washington. Dallas 6 and the Redskins nothing. Back we come. The second quarter, 1st and 10 Washington, and they give it to Brooks. And the rookie from Notre Dame for a 15-yard pickup to the 34-yard line to start the second quarter.
Good slashing run over the right side. Brooks was a sprinter in high school back in Oklahoma. 100 meters, 200 meters. You saw the acceleration then. He had a little gap and just kicked it into another gear. Gets a good block over the right side from Simmons. With a quick draw play, just spins away from one linebacker. He gets the first down. Good, strong running.
Cowboys have flipped Charles Haley. He's playing left defensive end now.
1st and 10 with 3 wide receivers, and the sole setback is Brooks. And the thing about Brooks, they loved him so much that Richie Pettibone indicated last night when preseason started he wanted Brian Mitchell to be the featured back. But Brooks has come on, and the only reason he didn't start tonight is he's a rookie. It's the first game. It's Dallas. It's Monday Night Football. But it didn't take him long to get in, and it may take him even longer to get him out of there.
I'll tell these youngsters, particularly at Notre Dame and places like Alabama, the lights might bother them for a couple of plays, but once they get hit, once they make contact, forget it. They can belong in there just like any other player, any veteran player.
2nd and 3 at the 26. 6-0 Dallas.
Dallas shows blitz, and Rippon changes.
Quick flip, McGee. And McGee, the ex-Cincinnati Bengal with a new home in Washington, picks up the first down, run out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Larry Brown.
Good read by Rippon, and you're so right, Dan. Dallas very seldom blitzes, and they don't disguise it very much. And Rippon came up to the line of scrimmage, knew he was going to have single coverage, changed the play, got it off before the 42nd clock. And right now he's in a hurry because the 42nd clock is ticking down.
That 5-second difference doesn't sound like all that much, but it has really caused a problem. And you talk to coaches like we do during the preseason, we've yet to find one that's in favor of it.
There's a problem. He couldn't change his play now if he wanted to.
To say nothing of the analysts in the booth. Here's Reggie Brooks.
And the 16 does give us 5 seconds of quality time together.
Less.
Those 5 seconds are important. You never know how you could finish off a wonderful point, and you just don't have the time to do it.
Or hang yourself. Long drive for Washington with 12:40 to go first half. RFK, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf. Our 24th season beginning in Washington. 65 yards thus far on a drive on which this is play number 12, 2nd and 6. At the 16-yard line, they take an end around to Sanders. And then Rippon throws incomplete, intended for Biner at the 5-yard line. Good coverage on the play by Kevin Smith. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Well, 2 things there are noteworthy. One, Mark Rippon, not the most agile of quarterbacks, makes Charles Haley miss him clean. And that was brilliant coverage by Kevin Smith. Locked up man on man. Haley doesn't normally let a quarterback like Rippon get away.
Rippon not the quickest in the world.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Tony Tolbert, not Haley.
And Kevin Smith coming up to play, and a good reaction by the secondary.
Yeah, I want to correct myself. That was Tony Tolbert, 92, not 94.
3rd down and 6. Monk was in motion. Rippon throw to Sanders. Touchdown.
Dallas in that soft zone, and Sanders and Rippon splitting the cornerback and the safety.
I think it's almost identical to what happened to Washington when Harper scored. Kevin Smith appeared to be confused as to whether it was man or zone.
Take a look at it again. Rippon looking Sanders all the way. Kevin Smith not dropping deep enough on that zone. Everett couldn't get over it.
And the difference in the game now is Lohmiller's extra point after that 13-play drive. 12:13 to go in the first half. Washington 7, Dallas 6. The RFK Stadium where the Redskins kick off on top 7-6. Williams, who fumbled that punt earlier from the 9-yard line, swings to the outside. Flag goes down. Tackled by A.J. Johnson up at the 19-yard line. Jerry Markwright is the ref.
Evan Williams perhaps making another rookie mistake, trying to sprint that east and west instead of north and south, and he lost the foot race. Here he comes. Robert Jones. There it is right there. There's the face mask. Number 47, A.J. Johnson, getting a hand in there.
Holding. Number 51.
They call the hold
return.
first.
Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Ken Norton was holding. They called the hold, and face mask went without a flag.
12:03 remaining in the first half. The Dallas Cowboys playing as an underdog for maybe the only time all season tonight. This is the only game they do not figure to be favored, and certainly if Emmitt Smith comes back. And on first down, Alvin Harper makes the catch up at the 17. When you think about it, if Dallas wins tonight's game, they will have won a game without Emmitt Smith in Washington, in, as I say, the only game in which they figure to go in as the underdog this season.
Well, if they show they're able to win without Emmitt Smith, you're right. That will guarantee the fact they won't be an underdog anymore the rest of the year. They're a ways away from doing that.
Second down and 1. And on a delay, this is Derek Lassick. Lassick is out of Rockland County, New York, about 50 miles from New York City. Was recruited by Alabama when Bill Curry was there. Had some family in Montgomery. Almost left Alabama after his freshman year and really didn't play a lot until he was a senior. He was behind Saran Stacy and others. And then finally came into his own last year. And he is only one of 4 rookies ever to start for a defending Super Bowl champion. There are the others, and Lassick is the first running back. Interesting, Darrell Green was the last to start for Washington after they won the Super Bowl. Green still playing, of course, at corner. First down at the 20-yard line. Aikman pump fakes going deep, and Irvin with contact with Green. No flag, incidental bumping, and incomplete.
Well, the reason he's the first running back to start for a defending Super Bowl champion is it's pretty hard to win the Super Bowl without a quality running back. It just happened to be fate that the quality running back that propelled the Cowboys to the Super Bowl last year is sitting in Pensacola, Florida.
One thing we have not seen yet from the Cowboys, and that is their tight end, Jay Novacek. 68 receptions a year ago. He makes it so easy for Harper and Irvin on the outside because he's like a wide receiver that plays tight end. Number 84, Jay Novacek.
He lines up on the right side. Here is Lassick. Lassick is able to find a bit of a hole and exploit it for a 5-yard gain. Out to the 26-yard line. It'll be third down and 5. Monty Coleman and Brad Edwards converge on the hit. Lassick has now carried 7 times for 28 yards.
He came into tonight also with a very sore knee. Hurt his knee last week against the Bears. Tough youngster. 4th-round draft pick, as we mentioned, gets a little bit of a breather.
They bring in Kevin Williams. This is what they've been doing in third down tonight. They've been lining up Johnston in the backfield, going to the wide out set. They have to get to the 31. Here comes a Redskin blitz. The Cowboys do a beautiful job of picking it up, and Novacek makes his first catch of the season up at the 33-yard line for a first down.
And with those 4 wide receivers in there, Novacek, flags come in late.
Very late.
Novacek was picked up by linebackers instead of the strong safety who was over helping on the outside against Irvin. He holds on to the ball. Super catch by Novacek. And he has wonderful hands at 6'4" and 230 pounds, like Brent Jones of the 49ers. He puts so much pressure on the defense. You have to cover him man for man with the defensive back.
Illegal substitution foul. 12 men on the field. Defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
It's really embarrassing to have 12 men on the field and still allow the opposition to complete a pass for the first down.
Once again, a defensive error. We saw one earlier that allowed Alvin Harper to score from 80 yards out.
Here's the penalty from the right part of the screen, from the bottom part. There's the 12th man.
Wasn't hard to find, was he?
First down, Dallas up at the 34-yard line. Here's Lassick again, and Lassick out past the 40. Derek Lassick to the 42-yard line. He's tackled by Monty Coleman. That's a gain of, let's call it 8.
And that is awesome blocking by the Cowboy offensive line. They just obliterated the Redskins on that side of the ball, and Lassick wasn't even contested. Take a look at the blocking on the right side here by Gogan and Williams. Look at that hole. Great lead block by Johnston. And there is a case, though, Frank, where Lassick and his tendencies to go laterally might have cost him some yardage right there. He might have been better served by slashing right on upfield.
Second and a short 2, and we've got whistles. No play.
Yeah, there must have been contact in there before either that or a false start, one or the other.
False start.
Yep.
Number 61. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Nate Newton turns a 2nd and 2 into a 2nd and 7 with 8:44 to go in the half. 7-6 Redskins.
Nate's the second guy in. Oh yeah, you see him rise up. His hand doesn't come up off the ground, but he raised up in his haunches, and that's enough of a move to get you slapped with the false start.
2nd and 7 from the Dallas 37-yard line. Aikman hitting Harper, and that's a first down. He lost the football at the Washington 47. Darrell Green, who can fly, comes up with it. Green to the outside. And finally tackled by Johnston.
You talk about being in the right place at the right time. There's a flag upfield.
Back at the 45.
Darrell Green was the guy who had the coverage on Alvin Harper to begin with. He was way too loose on Harper. Harper catches the pass easily, and then it comes loose. A very fortunate bounce for Darrell. Now let's see if Washington gets to keep the ball. And you're right. He is a dangerous man once he's in the open.
Holding number 58. Washington after the recovery on the return. 10-yard penalty. First down Washington.
That's Carl Banks, the former Giant.
The key there, it came after possession was already Washington. See, Darrell's way too loose on Harper, and there it comes.
I think they were releasing him to the inside man. They're hoping the safety man picked him up. Aikman and Harper both read it at the same time, and Aikman fired it in. He fumbles the ball, and you're right. Darrell Green, right place at the right time.
Give Kurt Gouveia credit. He's the guy who made the hit on Harper and forced the ball out. Check this out. He's number 54. There he comes, and he puts his left hand right on the football and pops it out.
There's a middle linebacker who makes a lot of big plays. Kurt Gouveia creates the fumble. Washington has it at the 45-yard line. 5-man Cowboy front, and Ken Norton had an easy pick and dropped it.
Now that ball had a little sauce on it when it got to Norton.
That's easy pick, Al. I'd like to throw you one.
That baby had a little taco sauce on it when it got to him.
That'd have been helmet high. He would have been eating it.
Yeah. It did hit him in the hands.
Well, try it by speeding it up, though. Craig's on your side, our director.
It did hit him in the hands, but that baby had some jalapenos strapped to it.
Mitchell is the tailback. Middleton leads the way, and he takes it up to the 47-yard line. Russell Maryland makes the tackle. RFK from straight above.
Perfect night to play. Warm night, but it's not hot. Low humidity.
It's the Cowboys and the Redskins at RFK. Every football Sunday or Monday should be just like this. This is perfect.
3rd and 7 at the 48-yard line. Rippon throws it out to Sanders, and there's a flag down. Ricky, for the moment, had the first down.
Rippon must be changing at least 40% of his calls tonight. Highly unusual against Dallas. They don't show you a lot of different things. But he's seeing something different.
False start. Number 83 simulating the snap. The foul occurred prior to the snap. The play does not count. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
How does a wide receiver simulate the snap?
I think he meant Raleigh McKenzie, the center, 63.
Yeah. He said 83, and you're right. He had to be referring to the center. He's the only one, I would assume, who can simulate a snap.
He does look like a guilty simulator.
Please reset the game clock to 7:29. 7:29 on the game clock.
Somebody pointed. I think it was the left guard, Ray Brown.
No, yeah, Elo-Anibi, I think the left tackle is the one who's pointing. Yeah. But that's not simulating a snap. You're allowed to point, and I certainly didn't see any movement by McKenzie. Well, they're closer than we were.
Doesn't mean they're right.
No.
3rd down and 12 at the 43-yard line.
Ripping is changing again.
On a delay, this is Ernest Biner, and the venerable one who gained 998 yards last season. Gets it up to the 47. He's still well shy of the first down. Gant and Haley make the hit, and Washington will punt. Week 2 next week. Next Monday, we go to Cleveland. The 49ers coming off their win yesterday against Pittsburgh. Steve Young is back and healthy, and we'll talk to him at halftime tonight, in fact, against the Browns, who fell behind 14-0 and then scored 27 consecutive points to beat Cincinnati 27-14. 49ers Browns next Monday night.
Defensive effort by the Browns yesterday.
Here's Goodburn's punt. And, well, when you're a rookie, you make the catch inside the 5. Otherwise, you don't. There's a flag down. He takes it back to the 15. 48-yard kick, 10-yard return, penalty marker.
And that will almost automatically warrant you a heart-to-heart chat with Mr. Johnson when you get over to the sideline.
That's funny. We keep saying when you're a rookie, but, you know, in college they teach you the same thing, basically.
Yeah. No, he just lost track of where he was.
Holding on number 37 receiving team. While the kick was in the air, it's a post-possession foul. The penalty is from the end of the run. Half the distance to the goal. First down. Timeout.
Thank you, Jerry. He did everything but lead us to a commercial. I'll do that. We'll be back. We're back at RFK Stadium. You know, it doesn't matter what the sport is. It could be the Dodgers and the Giants, or the Lakers and the Celtics, or the Canadians and the Maple Leafs through the years. The Redskins and the Cowboys. It just has a magical ring.
And RFK Stadium even a little more magical. The stadium actually shakes when things are going right for the Redskins.
Dallas, after the penalty, starts from the 2-yard line. And Derek Lassick takes it up to the 5-yard line. And, you know, the one thing that's really weird tonight that we haven't talked very much about, to look down at that sideline, that Washington sideline, and not see Joe Gibbs.
Those 3 Super Bowl victories in 12 years. I wonder if he's watching somewhere.
Oh, you bet he is.
Well, I asked Jim Hanifin, and I said, where is he? He said, I don't know where he is, and they're good pals.
He's at his home in Virginia. He felt uncomfortable coming to the stadium tonight and thought that he'd rather view it at home rather than create a commotion. But you could not have a transition any easier than what they've seen here in Washington going to Richie Pettibone. The coaching staff is intact. Pettibone was here for 15 years. It's the way Joe wanted it. And this club looks the same to me.
Well, at least he won't have to replay it all night long and look at it.
On second down, Aikman out of the end zone. And to Lassick up at the 8-yard line. Every time I see Aikman in the end zone, I think back to last year. The most controversial play of the season was that fumble, non-fumble. And it's funny, Jimmy Johnson was talking to us last night. And he said, I hope you guys realize that that was not a fumble last year.
That's a great play by Aikman, and a very dangerous play, throwing it into the traffic. And Lassick, who stands about 5'10", goes way up to get it. Had he not, that one could have been picked off. Certainly a risk of a deflection.
You got to be careful of holding in the end zone as well. That'd be a safety.
Since there was a penalty on first down, it is second down now. Second down from the 7-yard line. And Lassick bumps his way up to the 12. He's a little short of the first down with 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the first half. And the Washington Redskins leading the Dallas Cowboys by virtue of a missed extra point, 7-6.
Talked about the unavailability of H-back Terry Orr for the Redskins. Also, Andre Collins over on the right side. He's not dressed tonight. The ordinarily strong right side linebacker that can do so many things for the Redskins. And Monty Coleman A good nickel linebacker for so many years.
The aged
is
one.
filling in. 15 years he's been playing, and he is in great shape still.
I think if Monty plays every game this year, he moves up to like number 2 on the all-time list for Washington Redskins, trailing only Dave Butts. When you're a 15-year guy and you're still butting heads every down, you're a special character. Clay Matthews in Cleveland, another. We're not talking about a kicker who hangs around for 15
Number
years.
66 is an eligible receiver.
He's out of there
66.
in the short yardage situation, but he's got one interception for each year he's played.
Gogan moves from right guard out to tight end, and the announcement by Mark Wright that he's eligible.
So short yardage here, 3rd down inches. That's Novacek in motion. And they go the other way with Lassick. And the rookie has the 1st down before he's banged back at the 13-yard line. Darrell Johnston's block helped pave the way, and Dallas has a 1st down.
It's like Sterling Palmer, number 97, is hobbling. He's a 4th-round draft choice, a rookie that they think has a real promising future as a pass rusher, and he tried to make it to the sideline and decided, I better sit this. Not hurt too badly. He's over on the Redskins sideline being looked at right now.
1st down at the 13-yard line as Derek Lassick takes it up to the 17-yard line. A pickup of 4. Shane Collins in on the hit. Cowboys trying to become only the 5th team to repeat Super Bowl titles. Green Bay was the first, winning the first 2, and San Francisco was the last, capturing it after the 88 and 89 seasons.
Easier to build a dynasty back then than it will be now. The league, I think, across the board more competitive, and next year with the salary cap, we are really going to see some evening out.
2nd and 6. Aikman with wonderful protection, and then Derek Lassick simply drops it, and he'd like to drop kick it.
He missed that too.
Yeah, that's another point you can make for Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith last year 59 receptions, as well as those 1,700 yards rushing. And of course at Alabama, I don't believe Derek Lassick would even have approached those numbers, but Emmitt Smith a good checkoff man. That time Lassick didn't handle it, and he would have had a 1st down.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
He knows it too.
He's wide open, and Aikman with excellent pass protection, given a lot of time.
Oh, that's the case of him taking his eye off the ball, running before he had it in his hands.
3rd and 6. Aikman slings it, and is lucky that one wasn't picked off by big play man Gouveia, who almost made another big play.
I'll tell you, at the end of the 91 season, the end of the Super Bowl of 91, Super Bowl 26, Gouveia was all over the field for the Redskins as they went. I think he intercepted a pass in the last 3 games they played, as well as the Super Bowl.
He had 3 interceptions last year as well. And for a guy who's really predominantly known as a run-stopping type of middle linebacker, that's pretty impressive.
Here's John Jett to kick. Brian Mitchell back to accept it.
That's not much.
Bad kick. Downed in Washington territory. Bill Bates gets down there to make the touch. Pretty predictable first week, all things considered. 1st and 10, Washington at the 45-yard line, 7-6. The Redskins lead it. Reggie Brooks swings to the outside, and with a flag down, he momentarily picks up a 1st down. It's an 11-yard gain, but a marker is down, and it's going to come back for a hold. To this point in the game, Dallas has outgained.
Holding number 64, offense. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
They've outgained Washington 175-100. Mo Elowanibi, the man very much in the spotlight this season, and he will be tonight and all season long with the absence of Jim Lachey.
Well, he's put in a tough spot. Look at Haley, who's clear outside of him, and this play designed to go the outside. Oh, and he just, well, you got to let go, Mo. That's the one piece of advice I'll offer you. You can grab in there, but you've got to let go when the guy's trying to get to the outside. And that was a good spot by the officials and a good call.
1st and 20 at the 45, 3:15 to go. in the half. Here's Brian Mitchell. Bangs his way into Dallas territory to the 47. It'll be second down and 12. Brian Mitchell, who was an option quarterback in college. He's been used as a return man, and when preseason started, Richie Pettibone wanted him to be the featured back. It's his first NFL start, and he's carried the ball coming into tonight's game only 24 times in 3 years.
Well, we understood it because we saw him start last year in our playoff game against Minnesota. 209 combined yards, 112 rushing that afternoon, and
we saw him finish a game one time too.
Yep, as a quarterback. Second and 12. Whoa. And Mitchell gets finished off before he's able to make the reception by Kenneth Gant.
Yeah, we saw Mitchell finish that game Monday nighter in Philadelphia, the so-called body bag game where Philadelphia knocked everything but the logo off the Redskins helmets, knocked every quarterback out of the game except for Mitchell, who had to finish.
In fact, it was garbage time. Did he threw a touchdown pass in that game at the end.
I'm not sure that he'd appreciate you referring to it as garbage time.
Well, that's what it was. That's what it was.
You know, when we're doing the fourth quarter of a blowout, I hope they don't call it a garbage telecast.
Our advertisers don't want it called that. Third down and 12 as Rippon.
No.
Flag is thrown. Ball is, I think, still alive. Incomplete.
And he's fortunate it was not a lateral. And one headlinesman was looking at that ball as though it might have been.
Third and 12 prior to this play, and the call goes against Washington. And Jimmy says it'll be fourth down, and we want the football back. So with 2:24 remaining in the first half, Washington on top 7-6.
Number 64, offense. Penalty decline. Fourth down.
That's another one on Mo.
Yeah, that's
a triple, isn't it?
Yeah, here's the Mo and Charles show. All right, that's Middleton who gets the first pop. And then Mo really just falls on top of him. That's not really holding by Eloanibi. You're allowed to fall. You're allowed to fall on top of a guy like that. That's a play that comes in from a call comes from the sidelines because you just see it and it looks like a tackle. That's not Eloanibi's fault.
Kelly Goodburn to kick. Kevin Williams back to receive it. Here come the Cowboys for what they hope is a punt block, but he gets it off. It bounces inside the 20. And bounce hits a Cowboy. Loose ball at the 17-yard line. Washington's got it.
I think it hit James Washington. It hit number 37 Washington.
The city Washington has it, not the player.
Yep.
Cowboys ordinarily very good on special teams. They have bobbled the ball twice now on punt return. Jimmy Johnson is not going to like it.
Well, Washington's back there trying to make a block, and I can only assume he never saw the football. Williams right there trying to tell him to get out of the way, and there it is. Washington's trying to make a block. He's trying to block Eilers and never saw the football until too late.
That is the third Cowboy turnover of the first half.
Washington tried to pirouette away from it, but the Redskins will get it inside the red zone.
And I think Washington was banged up on the play.
For Eilers, who made the team because of his special teams work, and there is Washington being
working move to try to get out from under it.
So the Redskins have it at the Cowboys 17. They lead 7-6. 2:14 to go in the half. Skins have all of their timeouts. Screen to Mitchell with good blocking. And he takes it to the 8-yard line, does Brian. He wants to keep going, but it's down at the 8. And he appears to be a little short of the first down. As we come to the 2-minute warning.
Eloanibi and Brown out in front of that screen, both good blocks.
Ken Norton slow in getting up and now arising as we have come to the 2-minute warning. At RFK, it's Washington 7, Dallas 6 on opening night.
Chug it, chug it, chug it.
Inside RFK Stadium where Washington has it. Second down and 1 at the 8-yard line. 2 minutes to go. Skins lead by 1. And here's the first down. Brian Mitchell straight ahead to the 3-yard line.
Oh, that's a first down pickup that gives you a lot of flexibility now. Now with the time on the clock, there's absolutely no hurry to the Redskins whatsoever. That's a big play. Their whole playbook is open to them now as they're inside the 5-yard line.
First and goal at the 3-yard line. And Mitchell is stopped at about the 2-yard line. Tolbert there among others at the bottom of the pile. Clock continues to tick down. Washington doesn't care at this point.
No. Here comes their big package, though. Jim Riggs checks in, a 252-pound tight end. Joe Jacoby checks in. Ray Brown, number 67, moves out to tight end. And there is one of the great offensive linemen, one of the great guys this franchise has ever seen.
Had a little scare last week with the knee problem, but Jim Hannafin said he's all right.
It's an ongoing problem with Joe.
They line up Jenkins in the backfield, number 88, to provide blocking for Mitchell. Touchdown, Washington.
That's the big package.
Ray Brown's at tight end. Jacoby's on the inside at tackle, at guard. Good blocking all the way on the left-hand side.
They bring Jim Riggs all the way across, number 82. That's about 900 pounds working on that left side.
That's just plain putting the blue shirts back in the end zone.
Lohmiller bangs it through with 40 ticks remaining in the first half. On RFK erupting as the Redskins go up by 8.
He's over there to compensate for the Redskins big guys.
Lohmiller to kick off. And the rookie Kevin Williams, second-round pick out of Miami at the 4-yard line. And he brings it back to the 25-yard line. The clock stops with 34 seconds remaining. The Dallas Cowboys have 2 timeouts. Steve Young visits with us live at halftime, and we will see him next week as the San Francisco 49ers take on the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland Stadium, Lake Erie. And in fact, there is Steve Young looking on at the NFL YET Center in Southern California in Compton.
That's a youth education training center out in South Central Los Angeles, founded by the NFL, Garth Brooks and the United Way, and we'll be talking to Steve from there in just a few moments.
First down, Dallas up at the 26-yard line. And they're going to keep it on the ground and see what Lassiter can do. And he takes it up to the 33-yard line. Coleman makes the tackle. And the Dallas Cowboys appear to be content to go into the locker room down by 8 and regroup. Aikman up to the 48-yard line. The catch is made there by Jay Novacek. And that's enough for a first down, and the Dallas Cowboys will take a timeout. So a play, maybe 2 remaining in the first half.
The thing now is Dallas needs to get down a 35 at the 35-yard line. That would be a 52-yard field goal. In 9 seconds, the question is, can you run a 20-yard out pattern and get the clock stopped?
Well, their field goal kicker, Lynn Elliott's best is 53 yards, so they'll have to get at least that.
Or even over the middle and take a timeout. But there's a deep drop and a drop pass. Kevin Williams couldn't hold on.
No, that's a pass route that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No. Right over the middle, and
you got to cover close to 20 yards.
Well, it's safe, and they're hoping for the run out of it from their good return man, good broken field runner, and then they were just being very conservative.
Now they have no choice but to go to the end zone with a bombs away.
And they send Williams and Irvin wide to the right, and they also put Harper over there as well. So you got the 3 big guys all on the right side.
This is basically to draw a foul. Half cannot end on a defensive foul. That's what they're looking for.
And Aikman just launching one up for grabs, batted away, and the half is over. So the first half belonging to the Skins. Washington 14, Dallas 6, and back we come with halftime activities after this word from the National Football League, and this from on a sparkling late summer night. Taken 2 yards in. This is Brian Mitchell. And he brings it back out to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Redskins begin the third quarter. Washington on top 14-6. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the GM Card, today's financial vehicle. By Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling, Can your beer do this? And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. Opening night, RFK 14-6, Redskins on top. Mark Rippon begins with a two-back set. He's got Biner and Brooks. And Reggie Brooks, the rookie out of Notre Dame, runs smack into Ken Norton. And is thrust back. Minimal gain, if any. Let's take a look now at the numbers through the first half of play. Dallas, of course, turning the ball over 3 times. And that is the critical figure.
And one of those turnovers resulted in a Washington touchdown, so 7 points directly attributed to the turnovers. More offense for Dallas, though. If you take a look at it, they're completely dominating the passing game, 145-47.
80 yards to Harper represents a lot of that.
Brian Mitchell is now the ace back in this set. He gets the ball. Big hole for Brian Mitchell, and a first down up to the 31-yard line.
Boy, that's good-looking blocking. Good-looking blocking by the Redskin offensive line.
Short yardage. They bring that jumbo offense in now.
Ray Brown, number 67, is going to pull and lead up through the hole. Eloanibi blocks off Haley. There's Brown's block on Bob Jones, the middle linebacker. Good block there by the left guard of the Redskins.
Dallas beginning this half minus James Washington, the starting safety. Woodson is in there instead. Third down in the yard, and he did come up short of the first down on that second down carry, and now picks up the first as Mitchell up to the 33-yard line.
Good block by Jim Riggs, the free agent from Cincinnati, number 82. He's got a couple of major blocks tonight. On the touchdown just before the half, good lead block there. Jim Riggs in his 7th year, and unprotected free agent from Cincinnati.
First and 10 at the 33, early third quarter. Washington by 8. A short drop by Rippon, and a very short pass to Sanders, and that's something that Washington will feature a lot more this year, according to Richie Pettibone. Everybody calls it the San Francisco style or the West Coast style offense, whatever. Shorter drops, shorter routes.
Everywhere we go, we hear the same thing, don't we?
Yep.
And
although the funny part of this is the man who's calling the plays for the Redskins, Rod Dahauer, was, while he has served time with Bill Walsh in that type of offense, really is a disciple of Don Coryell. We'll tell you that that's where the bulk of his passing game background was instituted.
Not a bad combination, Coryell and Bill Walsh.
No, you could take the best of that group and come up with something.
Here's Mitchell on 2nd and 6, and he bangs his way up to the 43, and that's close to a first down.
Redskins rapidly getting control of this football game.
First down, Washington, their 2nd in succession.
Moving it relatively easily against the number 1 ranked defense against the rush from a year ago.
Dahauer with the glasses perched on the bridge of his nose there, the edge of his nose. Former head coach at Stanford.
Former head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Exactly.
And now the man responsible for calling the plays. And Richie Pettibone, being a defensive-minded individual, has turned the offense over completely to Dahauer.
Rippon on first down. Slings and out pass into the arms of Ricky Sanders. Good throw, good catch. First down.
I'll tell you, that was a difficult pass to catch. It was wobbling. It was reverse for a right-handed receiver.
I think it looked like he had
made
Velcro.
a terrific catch. Ricky Sanders drives on the cornerback Kevin Smith, squares it off. The ball's in the air right here, floating. Just a terrific catch because he had to know exactly where he was. You got to admire it.
Nice, very nice.
Remember him, Super Bowl 21 against Denver. Whoa. Yep.
Rippon intended for Sanders, and here comes the flag.
Barry Brown on the coverage. Not me, he says. The official said, yeah, you. That ball was probably uncatchable. Boy, Ricky is saying that.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. Automatic first down.
Brown doesn't get there much before the ball. Let's take a look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's the contact. Initially, it looked like he was swinging with his left and missed him, but you can see he made body contact with the back of his head.
Rippon takes a shot on it, but Brown almost mugged Sanders.
Yeah, he hits him with his body. That's what draws the flag. Rippon certainly did not see the end of this.
Leon Lett burying Rippon. It's a 36-yard penalty. It's 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Mitchell. I'll tell you one thing. This is a very, very big defensive series for Dallas. If they can hold him to a field goal, it's a whole lot different than a touchdown because of that missed extra point.
Yeah, remember, this could be a 17-6 lead. Lohmiller missed a very short field goal in the first quarter.
Redskins last year in rushing, they were 4th from the bottom, 3.58 league average, a little over 4. But tonight, look at him, 5 yards a carry
against the #1 team against the run last year.
Mitchell on 2nd and goal, swinging to the outside, and he is hit just before he can get to the goal line. Darren Woodson, one of the guys there to prevent him from going in. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Ken Norton is also there.
Here come the big folks. 88 Jenkins, 82 Riggs. You'll see Brown go out to left end, number 67.
67 is an eligible receiver. 67.
And you see Mitchell almost getting in on his own. But let's see if they'll come back over the left side. They scored easily there a short while ago. There's Jacoby on his outside with Ray Brown.
3rd and goal. Mitchell is the tailback. The fake to Mitchell. He lost it to a wide open Middleton for a touchdown.
Good time for play action and a superb call by Rod Dowhower.
Second touchdown of Middleton's career.
Yeah, he faked the down block. Went down on all fours, got lost for a nanosecond, and then heads for the corner of the end zone.
Boy, and I'll tell you, John Roper was in the middle, and he really was fooled by Middleton going down.
Well, when you've been jamming the ball against this defense the way the Redskins have, that run fake is going to work. It's going to be successful.
Lohmiller bangs it through with 9:35 remaining in the 3rd. Washington now lead 21-6. 35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Redskins leading by 15, and Lohmiller sends this one into the end zone where it is down to by Kevin Williams.
Remember the last time when Washington scored a touchdown, how they stuffed it in on the left-hand side by overloading that side. Here's Dallas overcompensating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on this side of the field. What do? They throw back here to a wide open Ron Middleton. Dallas completely overplaying the left side of the Redskin offensive formation, and the Redskins wisely going away from the overload. Easy touchdown.
And Norton playing run all the way at linebacker. 1st down Dallas from the 20-yard line. Aikman throws up to the 36-yard line, and the catch is made by Michael Irvin, who's been pretty quiet for a while. Darrell Green makes the tackle.
Michael Irvin may have just not caught many balls, but he hasn't been quiet. One of the great talkers in the NFL.
He puts just enough drive on Green. The Green has to play him deep, even though he probably figured from the formation and the movement that he was going to break it across the middle, but he had to respect Irvin's tremendous speed
and size.
1st down Dallas up at the 36-yard line. Here's Lassick, and he picks up a 1st down and takes it to the 50-yard line. Derek Lassick with some nifty running, tackled by A.J. Johnson.
I'll tell you, is that north and south enough for you? He's a good running back. There's no question about it. He's not an Emmitt Smith, but he could play for a lot of football teams and do well in this league. Youngster out of Alabama, and what pressure, I'll say it again, to come in there on a Monday night. Emmitt Smith looking on, everyone in the country talking about Emmitt Smith, and he comes out and puts on quite a show. That's great effort.
Rudely went right through his own teammate, Alvin Harper, who was just standing there.
1st down at the 49-yard line. Here's Aikman again. Troy throws, catch made at the 32-yard line, and all of a sudden Michael Irvin becoming a lot noisier. You know, it's funny too, how stories get lost. The big story in Dallas 2.5 months ago was Troy Aikman. Would he be ready tonight? We haven't even touched on it. He had back surgery at the end of June. Most of you know the story. Came back, played in the last 2 preseason games. Looks terrific tonight in that regard.
And the original projection was second or third week of the season. You know, that he would almost certainly miss his opener. Reason we aren't talking about it is he's been back for almost he started throwing the ball over a month ago.
Like Steve Young, it wasn't his projection. He said all along that he'd be back for opening night.
First down at the 33-yard line. Aikman, open is Harper, touchdown, and just like that, Dallas gets back into it.
Big man against little man. Once again, A.J. Johnson and Darrell Green matched up against 2 big ones.
Well, that took about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's A.J. Johnson, who's got Harper. And even when he catches the ball, he just bounces off of him.
You see the little move to the outside, though? A.J. had to respect it. It cost him a split second in his coverage, and that was just enough, and a perfectly thrown ball.
Now Elliott, who missed an extra point earlier, and that's a big one right now. Hits this one. Harper's touchdown catch, his 4th reception of the game. 134 yards receiving, and Dallas gets back in it. They now trail 21-13. Here Dallas kicks off. Washington leads 21-13, and it's a bouncer at the 10. And Brian, he's in the field of play. He's in the field of play.
What in the world?
The ball, it doesn't matter where his feet, the ball was in the field of play.
Well, it won't be a safety. They'll mark it right there, but Brian Mitchell, that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yep, he didn't know where he was, or didn't know the rule, or whatever.
He got knocked back into the end zone, but forward progress, which is where they'll rule he was down, going to spot the ball at about the half-yard line.
Ken Gant knew where he was. He zeroed in from about 30 yards out and really unloaded on Mitchell.
Well, you'd think Mitchell would have figured it out when there was no whistle.
The ball was dead in the field of play.
Yeah, he downed it.
The man was down by contact. It's first down.
Yeah. You know, Brian, when you took a knee and didn't hear somebody start blowing whistles, that'd be a pretty good indication to get back up again.
He's got 1 foot. He puts it back into the end zone. The ball, though, has not crossed the plane.
He never
it's
looked.
Alive right there. And right now he begins to sense a little urgency.
He never looked. You could see he never took his eyes off of looking upfield.
You know, Gant even pulled up a little bit on it, and he realized and unloaded on Mitchell.
Oh, boy. What a break.
Well, they tied Tony Dorsett's record for longest run. Middleton.
That would have been 99
you bet.
And a half.
And a half. By a horse and a half.
Well, that was a bit of bad luck the Redskins didn't need, trying to protect the lead.
They get some breathing room on the pass to Middleton. It is 2nd down and 6 up at the 5-yard line. Art Monk, bottom of the screen. He hasn't caught a pass tonight.
He's got quite a consecutive game streak going.
This is Mitchell trying to find his way for a first down, and he should have it up at the 12-yard line. And it was Art Monk who led the way with a block. He has a 148-game consecutive game pass-catching streak. Hasn't caught one tonight, but throws a block here.
What he did there was better than catching a pass. He threw a darn good block that gave the Redskins a first down. Watch this. From the right side of your screen, here come Art Monk. He gets the block on Kenny Gant and just buries him. He plants Gant. Puts him down on the ground, and that's something that a lot of wide receivers don't do well is block.
First and 10 at the 13-yard line as Rippon swings one out to Ernest Biner. He gets by Dixon Edwards and takes it up to the 20-yard line. Pickup of close to 8. Stopped by Darren Woodson. Ernest Biner has now spent almost as much time in a Washington uniform as he did with Cleveland. He played 5 years in Cleveland and his 5th year now with the Redskins, and a different role for him this year. Fullback, blocker, and a pass catcher.
Just a versatility this year. He's playing, can be the H-back, and could be used in that role tonight, but he was traded even up for a running back named Mike Oliphant. Long gone from this game, and meanwhile Biner came close to consecutive 1,000-yard season, missing by 2 yards a year ago for the Redskins.
Second and a short 3. And Nickel picks up a long 3, short 4, and that's a first down. So from their own 1-yard line, the Redskins have given themselves a good bit of breathing room now with under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, and the Redskins leading 21-13.
Well, this is where it's tough. If the Redskins can get that out after that bonehead by Mitchell, and they have been knocking and slugging their way out from the shadow of their own goalpost, could make a very definite impression on the rest of this game.
Wait till Brian gets home and finds out that was a bonehead play.
Well, he knows it. I mean,
if the Redskins don't score, if they don't go any farther, this has already been a successful drive.
Here's Reggie Brooks. Picks up 3, takes it to the 27-yard line.
If they don't even get another first down and have to punt the ball away, this has already been one of the most successful drives the Redskins have had all day, getting it out beyond the 20-yard line.
I thought I said that. Didn't I?
No, I don't think so.
They have been dominating, as we mentioned earlier, the #1 defense against the run from last year. Richie Pettibone's type of football.
Here is Ernest Biner seeking that first down and coming up a little short, and it's going to set up a 3rd and about 2 as Dixon Edwards runs him out of bounds.
Another role for Biner as a pass receiver coming out of the backfield.
Good hands. Biner very flattered that he was appointed by Richie Pettibone to be one of the offensive captains of this football team. And not having played his entire career with the Redskins, thought that was quite an honor. Very proud of him.
3rd down and 2 for the Redskins at their own 32-yard line. Middleton goes in motion. A short little roll and a flip to Biner. And another big first down.
Get out the shovel.
A little shovel pass. Todd Dowhower is calling a terrific game from up above, and Ken Norton now is down, clutching the left knee. Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, MVPs, of course, for the Dallas Cowboys a year ago, but defensively, there's no question who was the star of that defensive unit, Ken Norton.
This is a classic shovel. A fake gets all the Cowboy defensive linemen up past the ball. Then the scoop pass up, and now all Dallas's eyes are on Ken Norton. And there's some good news right there. A linebacker whose activity, you know, he reminds me of is Wilbur Marshall. That type of player who always seems to be around the football sideline to sideline. You know, they're physically similar in size. This is a quality football player, Kenny Norton. There he is on the left-hand side, number 51. Oh, and he gets leg whipped. Yep. I think, is that 64, Eloanibi? Takes him down.
I think you have to hope that's a bruise, too, and it could well be that, because he did not have the leg planted.
Son of the former heavyweight champion, attended to on the sideline, 43-yard line. Darren Smith, a rookie from Miami, number 59, comes in for Norton. And Rippon flips one out to Ricky Sanders. And he's up to the 49-yard line. Kevin Smith making the hit. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Redskins will remain here and play Phoenix on Sunday. And for Dallas, still minus Emmitt Smith, they go home and open up their home schedule on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. Super Bowl rematch. Rippon first half 50%, this half 100%. Hasn't missed. All shorties. There's another shorty. Enough for a first down. Middleton.
Which longtime Redskin observers realize is a huge change from the way they used to throw the football. The Redskins in many ways were reminiscent of the Raiders in constantly going downfield with a big strike. And remember how they opened up the game with a long pass? They tried to get a long completion down the sideline, didn't get it. And since then, it's been short stuff on both sidelines and in the middle.
And is well advised against the Dallas defense. There's the little short one, a good read by Rippon, but Dallas likes to play that soft zone, and they will give you 4, 5, 6, 8 yards. You try to go deep on them, and they'll pick it off.
First down at the 45. Middleton, another shorty, bumped out of bounds by Darren Smith, and Mark Rippon has now completed 11 straight. His last pass in the first half and 10 in a row in the second. 1:30 to go in the third.
What defensive coaches will tell you, though, is that you're not going to complete a dozen 5-yard and 6-yard passes without somebody getting hit hard enough to cough up the ball. That's the defensive strategy.
That's
that we'll
part
give
of that
you.
philosophy.
That's
You're
right. That we'll give you that soft one, but we're going to come up and pepper you after you catch it, and you're going to cough it up. The ball's going to be on the field.
Or you're going to throw the tipped interception.
Right.
Something will happen. You just have a hard time moving a length of field 5 and 6 yarding it.
2nd and 9, and the play clock was at 0, but they did get it off. And it's Art Monk extending the streak and taking it to the 15. On the 848th reception of his career, no one's caught more.
Oh, they love it here.
Well, he's probably the most beloved of all these Redskin players. And listen, this is a standing ovation for Art Monk.
They are well aware that Richie Pettibone called him in before the season and told him he had slowed the speed, had lost his step, and he probably would not be that third wide receiver. He came back in camp, worked every day, and came in camp perhaps in the best shape of his career.
149 consecutive games. He's caught a pass, and here's another ripping completion. This one, no. They're saying yes, a completion, and he is down, is James Jenkins, tight end, making his first catch. Well, Jerry Markwright coming over and saying, wait a second.
Incomplete. Incompleted pass.
Okay.
Well, that was a fake out when he pointed to the ground. Normally that's a sign that the ball is down at that spot. Let's see if we can get an eyeball on this and see if it's a good call.
He was not controlling it. Crowd doesn't like it. They see the replay also. But it was ruled he was not controlling the ball when it hit the ground.
Well, that's what it was ruled. That one was mighty close.
And with 11 seconds to go in the third. Norton with that sprained knee, and he's trying to work it out, and he's going to try to return, is the report. James Washington, who was shaken up earlier, will not return the safety. This drive started at the Washington 1-yard line. They're at the Dallas 15. It is 2nd down and 10 in the waning seconds of the third quarter. They pick up the blitz, and it is caught by Art Monk. Touchdown.
And once again, Rippon read the blitz. It's not difficult to read the blitz against Dallas at all. Got the one-on-one. Good call by Rippon. Once again, the automatic. And the Dallas Cowboy blitz is so obvious.
Well, I think this version of Hail to the Redskins will be for you, Art. This song's for you. Well executed, as Frank said. And that, I'll say it again, was a great drive.
99 yards and a half.
It's called a half.
6 seconds to go in the third. Art Monk and Washington 28 yards. They lead by 15. Lohmiller's kick will be the final play of the third quarter. Is accepted at the 8-yard line by the rookie Williams, and he brings it back out to the 35, and that's where Dallas will begin the fourth quarter. Lohmiller making the tackle. End of 3. Washington 28, Dallas 13. Back.
Gonna drive with that length. That's what it's about. That's it.
Fourth quarter begins. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Washington, and Dallas from the 35-yard line begins with a pass by Aikman into the arms of Michael Irvin, and a first down.
I think they concentrated so much on Michael Irvin.
Well,
the
story, if it remains this way in Washington, will be successful debut for the Pettibone era. In Dallas, no matter what happens, they're going to talk about Emmitt Smith. And not that Vlasic hasn't done the job tonight. We talked about Emmitt before. We looked at it from his perspective. It's been an ongoing situation. Jerry Jones, the team owner, says, I have to look at the whole situation. I have to look at the imminent salary cap next year. I just can't pay him what he wants. From the 47-yard line, Aikman on first down. Pump fake. Going deep, a little too deep. Irvin got a step on the safety, Brad Edwards. Second down.
Is that the situation now with the bargaining agreement? The management side of football has become almost as important as the coaching side of it. If that salary cap kicks in, what, a 31, 32 million a year from now? I mean, you want to save your best ball players. You want to keep your best ball players, but you've got to get good enough ball players. And there is Jerry Jones standing there on the left side with the tie. But you have got to keep good enough ball players to keep your good ball players healthy. And it's a very tricky situation that's going to happen next year.
Second down and 10 from the 47-yard line. Aikman, deep drop, good protection, and no good. Irvin can't make the catch.
Well, Frank, you alluded to the collective bargaining agreement, and it is really what is holding Emmitt Smith hostage. He's, you know, that franchise player designation that he can be held under means that he gets an average of the top 5 running backs in the game. And if you're an exceptional player like Emmitt Smith, he wants to be paid commensurate with the top 5 or 10 players in the game. And of course, those are all quarterbacks, and that's the bone of contention. Jerry Jones doesn't have to pay him that kind of money.
Third down and 10 at the 48-yard line. Aikman underneath. That's Novacek. The tight end makes the catch, struggles for a first, but doesn't get it. He's 2 yards shy. It's 4th and 2. And Johnson, down by 15, is just about compelled to go for it here. 4th and 2. Just the update on the Smith negotiation situation. Jerry Jones said before the game he talked to Smith's agent, Richard Howell, for 30 to 40 minutes today. No progress. Does plan to talk to him again tomorrow.
4th and 2. You don't have an Emmitt Smith. Maybe you wouldn't give it to him in this spot, but certainly play action would be affected by it.
Well, Noga may have given him a big break, the ex-Viking, and Aikman says, what are you doing?
That's just frustration on the part of Nogas. He tried to time out the count, guessed with it, he missed it. Unless he was drawn off, and now there is quite a discussion.
Encroachment foul, number 72, defense. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
That's a gift-wrapped first down. Anyway, we can take a look at it here. It's clear that Noga, anticipating the snap, comes across. We mentioned before, the one thing that Emmitt Smith is very upset about is that he thought he had an agreement with Jones. It wasn't going to be publicly negotiated. And Jerry has talked to everybody about it.
The Bonehead Trophy, by the way, just got passed from Mitchell to Noga.
Here's Lassick going nowhere. 2nd and 11.
Yeah, but his teammates, Mitchell's teammates, bailed him out on a 99-yard drive that going back to it could really change a season more than anything. Under a new head coach, Richie Pettibone, under new play calling management on the part of Rod Dower, this football team is going to believe in what they just did. And it can make a big difference in a team for the entire season.
Well, Noga needs his teammates to bail him out, too. Giving Dallas a first down on a 4th down situation.
2nd and 11 from the 41-yard line. Aikman and Irvin can't make the catch. It may have been tipped. It's incomplete.
Oh, I think he just missed it. He was thinking sidelines, probably concentrating on his feet. Aikman delivered it beautifully. No, I don't think anyone throws that sideline pass better than he does right now. Big and strong. He just whips it, flicks it. Yeah, I guess it was a tip.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Monty Coleman came close. I couldn't tell if he touched it or not.
3rd down and 11 at the 41. 12:41. 4th quarter. Redskins by 15. Oh, off the fingertips of Irvin. Tough catch. He had to stretch out across the middle in between Copeland and Edwards. 4th down.
Good pressure on Troy Aikman. He had to deliver it. He was off balance. He took a tremendous shot when he did. It was a ball that could have been caught. A difficult catch. Michael Irvin has made more difficult ones. But Aikman had to let it go here on the break. And down he goes.
So 4th down and 11 at the 41-yard line. Jet comes in to punt. Brian Mitchell standing at the 10-yard line. Mitchell's going to let it go, and the Cowboys are going to be able to down it inside the 5-yard line. It is down there by Mark Vanderbeek, picked up from Indianapolis on waivers last week. The Skins deep in their own territory, and they start from their own 4-yard line. The last time they started from the 1, they went 99. Ken Norton is back in the game and makes the tackle on Brian Mitchell. So the Redskins, against a defense that was #1 in the league last year, last 3 possessions, they picked up the football at the Dallas 17 and went in, and then they went 78, and then they went 99.
There's Al Noga, who we will officially take back the bonehead trophy that we gave him for jumping offside. So both he and Brian Mitchell have been just temporary keepers of the hardware. But it still could be awarded again.
Ongoing award. Rippon throws a duck.
Well, that hit the ground.
Biner,
yeah, good call.
Makes it a 1-hop catch in the 3rd down.
Rippon, not the most athletic of quarterbacks, was as much as anything concerned about getting out of the end zone and not giving up a safety.
And he had Tolbert after him again.
Mark tonight again after a good preseason. Last year, overweight, reported late, offensive line injuries, never got it going.
But I'll guarantee you, Al, that we've rarely ever seen Mark Rippon with 21 completions and only 147 yards.
What he's done so well is change the play at the line of scrimmage. He's doing it again right now.
Play clock down to 4, 3rd down and 7 on a left roll, looking back, throws cross grain into traffic, incomplete. Intended for the well-covered Sanders. Bill Bates on top of him, number 40.
He was born to hit, Bill Bates. Coming off a knee problem of a year ago, and all-time leading tackler for the Cowboys. Most of it with the head. He is one tough critter.
Do we put him on the old Deerdorf team? What do you think?
Well, well, we don't have one of those.
Oh, okay.
Say this about Bill Bates, though. When he moves on, it almost seems as if that last link to the old Dallas Cowboys goes with him.
Goodburn with a low liner, and it's a short kick. And the Cowboys let it go, and the Redskins get a nice roll out of it. Turns out to be a 49-yard kick.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful Monday night if you're a Redskin fan, because they lead 28-13. Dallas 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Derek Lassick takes it out to the 50. It's a pickup of 6.
With a ball loose.
Redskins are contending that it's theirs, but the official comes right in to say he was down by contact. Jimmy Johnson turned 50 years old in July. 5th year. He is now the dean of NFC East Division coaches.
Tell you about job security, won't it?
Yeah. Oklahoma State and then Miami won a national championship. First coach in history to win a national title and the Super Bowl.
Interesting guy.
And he can flat out coach. Yep. You cannot deny the fact that a Jimmy Johnson team is well prepared and well coached.
2nd and 4 from the 50. Aikman slings it out to Irvin. He makes the catch, and that's a 1st down at the Washington 37-yard line.
A.J. Johnson again locked up individual coverage. Got a little help on the inside, but he still lays off about 5, 6, 7 yards. Look how deep A.J. is playing. In the drive upfield, he has to turn the body, get ready for Irvin to go deep. That's when Irvin plants the left foot, breaks it to the outside.
Michael has caught 6 tonight, 70 yards from the 37-yard line. They originally picked up the blitz, and then Coleman comes in. No fumble, but a sack at the 48-yard line. Monty Coleman, year 15.
Grand old man filling in for Andre Collins, out with a knee injury, and there have been 15 superb years for Monty Coleman, who concentrated on, as much as any player I know, on keeping that body in shape. Worked so hard, and not so much a great play as just a missed time pass pattern downfield.
11th round draft choice in 1979. That's a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
2nd and 19. Aikman firing to the near side, and Michael Irvin makes the catch and then gets caught in a bumper car ride and takes it down to the 28-yard line.
Redskins are trying to help their cornerbacks by getting a linebacker out in front. And that time Monty Coleman slipped. Aikman was able to go to Irvin.
Great effort after the catch. He could have stayed on the ground. He could have stayed on the ground right here. But he gets up and he gets popped for it big time. But he's trying to pick up that first down. That's a great effort by Irvin. That's just a marvelous effort. That's why he's an all-pro.
It is 3rd down and 1. And through the middle goes Darrell Johnston to try to pick up that yard. Ball got loose, but it's still Dallas's ball again. And it appears as if he's got the first down.
It's like we had a diving Jerry Markwright coming in there at the last minute. There's a good shot of an official giving it everything he had.
Michael Irvin is paying tribute right there to Emmitt Smith, wearing Emmitt's number.
Michael was quoted as saying he has sore knees going into this game because he's been down on them every day praying that Emmitt Smith would sign and come to camp.
Pete Rozelle just called. He wants it taken off. 1st and 10.
Michael says call Jim McMahon.
Right.
He's my agent.
Aikman scrambles for a first down, takes it to the 12-yard line. Well, Dallas trying to get back in it again, down by 15, and now also fighting the clock, because when you're down by 15 and you've got 8:15 to go, and when you're fighting the clock.
And when you look at it at this stage, too, you realize at this point in time how much that missed extra point hurts.
Yeah, that's quite a scramble by Aikman. Back surgery, 12 weeks ago? And he did not hesitate to go that extra couple of yards. He didn't hook slide. He got the first down.
14-yard pickup, first down from the 13-yard line. There's Harper, and he gets spun down by Johnson at the 8-yard line.
And you keep wondering why they don't help A.J. Johnson and Darrell Green on the corners. And again, it goes back to the threat of that tight end, Jay Novacek. You put a safety out on either one of them, Novacek is going to get the linebacker coverage, and he's the man that's going to be open.
Well, it's one of the reasons also, Frank, that we haven't seen a lot of Tom Carter, their #1 draft choice from Notre Dame, because he played primarily zone in college. And it's a lot of man-to-man if you're going to be a Redskin corner.
2nd and 5. Aikman guns one into the end zone, and A.J. Johnson breaks it up.
Super play by Johnson. Getting a good look at what a defensive back is all about. You're going to get beat in front of millions of people over and over, and then you come back and you know you've got to do it. You've got to be the guy. You got to make the great play, and that's what Johnson does right here. Irvin gets behind him, the diving leap and the deflection. You got to believe in yourself to play on that corner.
3rd and 5. Dallas at the Washington 8. Redskins lead 28-13. 7:15 to go. Raw. Derek Lassick. Just inside the 5. Doesn't have the first down. Kurt Sovea gets the tackle. And Dallas will go to a 4th and 1 at the 4. And he's going to go for the field goal, or at least send the field goal unit out, because you're going to need at some point a field goal anyway. And he figures I might as well take it here.
Get your 3 because you're going to have it.
Very smart play. Again, though, all of this is only necessary because of the missed extra point. If they went for it and scored a touchdown without that extra point being missing, it'd be a 28-21 ball game.
Elliott, 22-yard field goal attempt. That's good. And his next kick will be an onside kick, probably. 6:30 to go, regulation. 28-16. To go, 4th quarter. Redskins lead 28-16. Washington anticipating an onside kick. They have 5 men up, but Elliott sends one out of bounds of all things. That's the last thing you're going to want to do in a situation like this, to give Washington the ball at the 35-yard line.
Guess what he gets?
I know what he's going to get.
The bonehead trophy.
Yeah. I mean, you're either going to kick it deep or you're going to onside kick it. You're not going to.
Free kick out of bounds. The ball is put in play on the 35-yard line by rule.
Jefferson
First down.
Memorial right there.
Great look by our crew here tonight. The best in the business. Craig Janoff, our director. Kenny Wolf, our producer. It's nice to be back in the saddle again.
Skins at the 35. Trying to take some time off the clock. Keep it on the ground with Brian Mitchell. Works his way up to the 41. Washington tonight 276 yards in total offense. One other point that we need to address here. Washington doing very well against the Dallas defense that hasn't had that many changes from last year. But keep in mind, Dave Wanstead was the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys last season. Now the head coach at Chicago, Butch Davis, is the new coordinator.
And a lot of credit to that offensive line, too. Elowanibi had a problem at the left tackle where he replaces Jim Lachey early on. But he has settled down and doing a good job over there.
Sure has. Here's Mitchell. And Brian is able to fight his way for a first down just past the 45-yard line.
This is just like an old book. You pick it up and read it every now and then. The Redskins grinding it out on the ground when they need to, picking up first downs here at RFK. Doesn't seem to matter very much if Joe Gibbs is the coach, if Richie Pettibone is the coach. And that guy is really the man responsible for it all. Jack Kent Cook, who owns this franchise and is not afraid to spend a little money.
Oh, and he's got some deep pockets.
This club, one of the highest payrolls in the National Football League.
At the 46-yard line, Mitchell gets ridden down by Darren Woodson after a minimal gain. Under 5 minutes to play.
What you said, Dan, brings us back again to that salary cap that'll kick in next year almost inevitably.
Well, you hear figures of what that salary cap might be, and I think conservatively speaking, the 1993 edition of the Washington Redskins is at least 7, and it may be as high as $10 million over what the projected salary cap for next year would be.
That's going to have an enormous impact on the changing of personnel next year.
That's a lot of players.
Liner in motion. Brooks in the backfield. Reggie Brooks. And all they're trying to do here is take some time off the clock as he gets gang tackled. You know, it's a little bit of irony in Dallas when they open their home season next week. There's going to be a guy on the field who, as much as anyone else, created the Emmitt Smith situation, and that's Thurman Thomas, and his contract held up by Smith as the standard. Timeout, Dallas. So the Cowboys fly home, get home about 4 o'clock in the morning. Short week, Buffalo on Sunday. Redskins stay right here, meet Phoenix on Sunday. Last year, these two teams split. They've split the season series in each of the last 5 years. Been a tremendous rivalry through the seasons.
Might be the most bitter rivalry in all of the National Football League, especially where the two communities are concerned. They go out of their way to express their total dislike of each other.
3rd down and 8 at the 48-yard line. Rippin hits Art Monk. 3rd catch of the game for the future Hall of Famer. The 850th of his career.
And the Cowboy defensive line, would you guys not agree, has shown a real inability to pressure Rippin tonight.
Particularly when they don't bring anybody in. They so rely on the coverage. And Rippin has also been reading the defense so well. They bring Form in, and they do a great job. Rippin just stands there, steps up, finds Monk wide open for the first down.
Total double team that time between Elowanibi and Middleton on Haley, and just took him out of the picture entirely.
At the 38, 3:30 to go. Mitchell. This is one of those games where the regular season is an extension of preseason. The Redskins look good. They were 3-1. The Cowboys didn't look good. They were 1-3-1. In fact, Jimmy Johnson last night said in preseason we were bored as hell. They won't be bored in practice this week. Timeout, Dallas. 16. Washington taking time off the clock, making Dallas spend its timeouts. Dallas now down to 1. Don't often see long faces on that bench. Certainly not last year. 2nd and 4. Here's Brian Mitchell swinging to the outside. Inside the 30-yard line. We move the circus to Cleveland next week. About 75 to 80,000 should be there.
On defense, they'll let you take the underneath stuff and then try and jar the ball loose. But Rippon has been so effective changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
After Dallas's final timeout, it's 3rd down and 1 Washington. They can cement it here with a 1st down. And the Dallas Cowboys have other ideas as Brian Mitchell gets pushed back by a passel of Cowboys before he can get to the 28-yard line.
I don't think he got there. He's about half a yard short, it looks like.
Low Miller going to come on, or
Brian, you don't have a striped shirt on. Oh, he's wanting the crowd to urge Richie on to go for it on 4th down.
I think Richie will go for it.
Well, he's got one of the best field goal kickers in the league. If Low Miller comes in, it's a 46-yard attempt.
But one of the ways you could really get hurt if you were to get a field goal blocked, and that's a possibility. The worst thing that can happen is you don't get the 1st down, you just leave it down there.
He's got the luxury of knowing they need 2 touchdowns to take the lead.
4th down and that much. Jerry Jones. The one thing Jones said about the Smith thing, in addition, that we haven't reported, he said, I hope this doesn't polarize the team. Because clearly, the players are going to look at it one way and the management's going to look at it the other way.
Well, it's several things. Obviously, it's the loss of a talented football player, but it's also a distraction that every day, every player on the Cowboy team has to deal with. Someone from the press is wanting their reaction. Boy, now we are going to get ready for this team without Emmett. Now how are you going to play Buffalo without Emmett? Every day this goes on, and clearly it's a way a team can lose focus.
Second charge timeout. Redskins. This is the 42nd timeout.
What the Redskins did there is, since Dallas was out of timeouts, they simply let the play clock run all the way down to 1. In effect, it took another 24 seconds off the game clock, because it starts at 25 after a measurement, so you're down to 2:19.
And they already know what they're going to do. And it would appear that Richie Pettibone will go for it. Locks it up with the 1st down.
Richie Pettibone out of Louisiana. Great defensive back during his career. 4th down, inches from the 29-yard line, and that'll wrap it up with a big exclamation point. Mitchell, touchdown.
So often happens on short yardage outfits. You have every defender at the line of scrimmage. All you have to do is get the gap, and you'll get a big gainer. In this case, he got 6.
If that wasn't the same play that John Riggins burned Miami in the Super Bowl with, it's awful close. Sure looked like the same play.
I'll tell you, it was blocked out absolutely beautifully also.
And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in this city more delighted than Richie Pettibone.
A great block by number 67, Ray Brown.
Yeah. Good for Richie.
Low Miller for the point after. Meanwhile, when nobody's looking, Brian Mitchell has rushed for 116 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns.
Up to the right of your screen. 67, Ron Brown. Inside, gets a great block.
Look at that block there.
Hole.
Boy, good-looking block by James Jenkins. And the one thing about the Dallas Cowboys on this game, you sure don't draw any conclusions about what's going to happen to them this season. I remember a Monday night game in the 5th week of the season last year where they got pasted pretty good by the Philadelphia Eagles, and that certainly was no barometer of how their season was going to turn out.
Well, meanwhile, Emmitt Smith may have led the league in rushing for the last 2 years, but that guy right now is leading the NFL in rushing in 1993. That's the best rushing game of any individual this weekend.
And that's the same guy that had the Bonehead Trophy a quarter and a half ago.
I was going to say, he trails the NFL in kickoff returns. And that is his specialty. One of the great return men in the league.
Only 2 players over 100 yards this weekend on the ground, Mitchell and Thurman Thomas. And Dallas gets Thomas next Sunday. So Low Miller to kickoff, 35-16, Washington.
For the 2nd year in a row, the defending Super Bowl champion loses on a Monday night opener.
Touchback. This is the most points scored against Jimmy Johnson's team since his first year. 1989 Kansas City beat him 36-28.
If Jimmy's going to be sitting in row 4 on the way to Dallas, I'd try to find a seat in row 47.
Here comes the Princetonian, Jason Garrett, whose father has been a long-time scout for Dallas. Aikman is done for the night. Garrett is the number 2 quarterback. Remember, they signed Hugh Millen as protection when Aikman had the surgery. Millen was waived and brought back, and he's number 3. Garrett with 2:04 to go. They blitz him immediately, but he's able to avoid Mays, and the pass is underthrown to Lassick. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning, which comes officially with 1:59. Magazine following the game is a great profile on Jimmy Johnson. Those of you in Dallas will see it following Nightline. Those of you in the East and Central time zone, and many of you caught it before the game, but a most interesting look at a fascinating man, Jimmy Johnson, on day 1.
All tonight proves is that the Redskins are 1-0 and the Cowboys are 0-1. It does not make any statement about where either one of these teams are going, except they're both going to have winning years and they'll both be in the playoffs.
Garrett to Lassick.
These are 2 of the top 4 teams in the National Football League.
I mentioned a moment ago that Jason Garrett, the quarterback for the Cowboys now, is the son of Jim Garrett, this longtime scout, former teammate of mine. And Jason Garrett have really earned the job in training camp. They thought that Hugh Millen would be the backup, but he has played so well. There's Millen, New England starter for the last couple of years. Garrett just won the job.
3rd and 9. Garrett nearly gets sacked, runs into Newton. Nearly coughs up the ball. Flag. Palmer does some celebrating.
Palmer back in the game. Remember, he left in the first period with a banged up leg.
Well, it looked like a hyperextension too, and he's back.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on number 94. Hitting with the helmet, 15 yards, first down.
That's Bobby Wilson, their #1 draft choice back in '91, and that's a good call by the official. You cannot come in and hit someone prone on the field with your helmet as a weapon, and that's exactly what Wilson did right there.
Yeah, I announced it.
Jerry Markwright inadvertently leaving his field mic on.
Aikman tonight. Those are the types of numbers that normally win games for you, but not tonight. Not even close.
One of those receptions was for 80 yards for a touchdown on a Washington error.
Here comes the blitz.
Look out. Mays hit him from the backside.
You know, this is just the first time, and you know, the Cowboys could learn some lessons from the Redskins and the Steelers and the 49ers and teams like that, because the Dallas Cowboys have just played their first game as a defending world champion, which means every team they play is going to turn it up a notch. And speaking of notches, they are the notch that, you know, people would like to put in their gun handle, and this is going to go on all season long for this group, and they better get used to it.
Every stadium you go into,
yep,
they react differently to the champion coming in.
There comes Mays again. Kevin Williams gets a nice little greeting from Monty Coleman. 15-year veteran welcoming the rookie.
Mays
by hog-tying him.
Mays blitzed again, got picked off at the last minute. I think he probably thought he was going to have another shot at it.
Well, whenever you see a young quarterback, no matter the situation, you tend to blitz him to see how he's going to handle it.
There's a 9. The ball is loose. Nobody knows it's on the grass.
It's right between Nate Newton's legs, and he doesn't even know it, nor should he have known it.
There's Noga getting rid of his bonehead accolade.
Yeah, the bonehead, we already put it in the truck. It'll travel to Cleveland with us next week. That ball was in Garrett's hands. He just didn't keep it.
You blitz him 2 or 3 times. Got to be a little anxious coming off the bench. Not really a chance to warm up. So perhaps the tactic of blitzing the young quarterback has paid off.
There are the coaches who made their debuts against Super Bowl champs. Joe Schmidt back in '67. Dan Reeves was a winner in his first game as the Bronco head coach against the Raiders. Hugh Campbell losing, and Richie Pettibone's going to win this one against the defending champs. Dallas does not have a timeout, so a couple of kneel downs will do it.
Proud of you, Richie.
And
waited a long time.
The Gibbs era is over, but they do not miss a beat. Richie Pettibone.
He said it's going to be fun.
15 years an assistant coach. I think only Jerry Burns waited longer to get his shot with the same team. He was with the Vikings for 18 years.
Well, he's known it all, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's played in the Super Bowl for the Washington Redskins back in '72. Part of the staff on the 4 other Super Bowls they were involved in. Passed over by so many teams and finally got the job he wanted.
Always the bridesmaid, but tonight he's the king. As the Redskins have whipped the Cowboys. And they've done it very convincingly. They've done it by 19. The old Hogs are here. They're celebrating. DC is celebrating. And Jimmy Johnson takes his team home 0-1. Washington winning it on opening night at RFK. The final score 35-16.